Yeah, uh, thank you. First of all, it's my pleasure to be here. Thanks for inviting me. It's an absolute honor to share my vision and experiences in the field of space. My name is Niki Sajjad, and I want to talk about inclusion, diversity, and equity in the space sector, experiences and challenges in the Middle East from the perspective of someone which is born and raised in a country that usually is not known as a space nation. I'm from Iran. I'm a PhD candidate in space engineering at Toosi University of Technology and a national point of contact for Iran at Space Generation Advisory Council. So you might have seen those active people in the space sector when they say that they knew they wanted to be an astronaut or work in space projects from a very early age. And many people say since ever I was born, I've been interested in becoming an astronaut. But for me, it was a different story. I didn't have a role model in the space sector when I was a kid, and no one was talking about space, spacecrafts, and astronauts around me. So like many other people in the world, I wanted to follow in the family footsteps. I was super lucky to have many people around me being active in STEM, and we had medical doctors in our family. And my dream was to be a doctor. Year by year, my goals changed based on my observations. First year of high school, I got interested in architecture. And then after joining the robotic team in high school, I wanted to be a programmer. And at the same time, I loved hands-on work and creation, which led me to choose electrical engineering for my undergrad studies. And I wanted to encourage everyone to get out of their comfort zone. I had an astronomer friend who used to invite us to some astronomical events in the astronomy center of my city. In one of those events, they showed a documentary from NASA, one of the space shuttle launches, and I suddenly fell in love with that. I'd never seen that many people were working on the same project or the same goal. And I was like, wow, see how diverse their workplace is with different skin colors, nationalities, and different skills, regardless of our labels like gender. But they all want the same thing, the safe launch of the spacecraft and putting it into orbit. So it changed everything for me. And at the same time, we gradually heard some news from my country's space agency about launching the first national satellite and then sending a monkey into space and these things. And all these could drive me crazy about space tech. And I decided to change my major and study space engineering in my master's. So at the age of 20, I set my goal to be an astronaut and explore deep space. So I started my space career 4 years ago as a master's student in space engineering, and it was a privilege to be active in the space research laboratory known as SRL of KNTU. And I've been CubeSat team leader, HIL engineer, which is hardware in the loop engineer, and ADCS engineer in SRL. Also, I'm an active member of Small Satellite Project Group, Space Safety and Sustainability Project Group, and a national point of contact for my country at SGAC. But you know, space industry or generally industry is male dominant. These are the photos of me working on one of the satellites. And I never used to think of this male dominant industry. And I just wanted to chase my dreams and be active as much as I can. But something really strange happened to me just 2 years ago while working on a satellite, which was an international collaboration among students of Asia Pacific countries. And I've been working on that project for like 3 years. And in one of those integration tests, while I was abroad on a mission, one of the professors asked me why my university sent me to that mission. And when I asked that what is wrong with me, he said that you're a girl and girls shouldn't do a hands-on project. And he said that they're good at theoretical stuff. So I can say I never was angry as much as that day, but it was a spark that really opened a new world to me. And I was not aware of this problem before. What I noticed was that we have gender gap and inequality in the workplace. We have gender bias in many societies, and the lack of activists in different majors. Some majors like space, because when you work in the space sector, you're usually super busy, and specifically when you're an engineer. and you can't be an activist in this sector. So we have these problems here. After all these things that changed many things for me in just less than a month working there, I realized that it's a big challenge all over the planet. So instead of giving up my dreams, I decided to spread the word and empower girls and women to be active. And I participated in the Agile artwork competition, which was about women in the aerospace sector, and became one of the winners and had this chance to talk about this problem. Then we ran a webinar with the same topic at SGAC Iran in 2020. I got another 3-day event at SGAC Iran this year for World Space Week 2021 with the theme of women in space. And finally, we presented our paper, result of our research on diversity, equity, and inclusion in the Middle East at the IAC just 2 weeks ago. And one thing that I want to show you here is that we had a competition for Iranian kids under 18 years to draw their space hero. And I have some of their artworks here. For example, this is a winner. And you see the hero is a girl that wants to save the planet by removing the face mask from the face of Earth, which shows that kids can have female heroes in their mind, but we could see a lack of just interest in having girl heroes in some other artworks, but they were all really amazing, and I want to show you some of those artworks.
Would you mind giving a visual description of some of those artworks for any of our participants who may not be able to see them?
Yes, sure. For example, one of them, you can see the hero is a Superman in space. Another one is a girl on Saturn, which is dancing in ballet. Another thing here is a boy. I forget the name of him. And another one is Anush Ansari, a Iranian astronaut. Yeah, so I want to show you interesting statistics in the Middle East to give you an idea how it's going here. You might not believe, but at the university level, women in North African and Middle Eastern nations comprise nearly half and sometimes more of STEM students. When in many Middle Eastern and North African nations graduate with university degree in STEM, often at higher rates than the US and Europe. And for example, you see here women enrolled in STEM field as a percent of all students. For example, if I want to talk about Iran, we have the statistics in 5 different fields. In natural sciences, math, and statistics, there's 70% of people, women, and in engineering, 25% of students are women. But generally, the percentage is so high in all the countries in this region. And the next figure shows women graduated in STEM fields as a percent of all student graduates. And still, this, the percentage is high. But when we talk about women percentage in labor force, you cannot see many women get relative jobs in STEM. So this is a really big issue here. Many girls pursue their dreams and study STEM, but they cannot find a relative job. So these are some of the results we've got from another statistic. And the question was, how many of your female classmates have got a relevant job? And I think around 25% of them could get a relative job, and most of them couldn't get a job in their field. So another thing that we ask is that what kind of careers do women usually take up in your workplace? And most of the people said administrative assistant careers. These statistics are coming from the Middle East. And another thing is that, have you been banned from entering or working at a specific place because of being a woman? And 70% said yes. And the reason that they're banned from entering the workplace was mostly about workplace policies, not. So we discovered the reason. The reasons are mostly a lack of confidence in Middle Eastern women to get a relative job, interpersonal and personal skills, and the lack of mentoring and networking. And the solutions are mostly introducing women role models in the region, having more hands-on programs for girls in school, because usually here girls and boys don't study at the same school and they're separated. Mentoring programs should be run in just some places for girls, like their schools. And we should have soft skills and team working workshops for girls to empower them. So these are all the things we found. If you want to empower girls and women in STEM, I think specifically in our region, we should do all these things. And now it's the best time we can do. So thank you very much. Thanks for your attention. And this is my email.